Hi guys, welcome to RX for Phi. My name is Natalie, and today I will be talking to you about how I chose my career in pharmacy and everything I did to become a pharmacist. I will be going in depth and step by step so you know everything you need to know to become a pharmacist. I thought this topic would be useful for young people to have insight and background into how I chose my career and everything I did to make that ambition a reality. Just for the sake of a little background, as a young teenager, I had some health issues, and there was a brief period of time when I had a lot of doctor's appointments. As a result, I had a lot of exposure to medicine and healthcare. I was so impressed by doctors. They seemed to be the most intelligent and the most knowledgeable people I had ever encountered. They could make anybody better. It was like a superpower. So by freshman and sophomore year, I was pretty sure I wanted to be in the healthcare field in one way or another. So I really focused on taking lots of honors and AP classes, and I took all the science classes my high school offered me. I took 2 years of chemistry, a year of biology, and a year of physics. By the end of junior year, I was pretty confident I wanted to be a pediatrician. A lot of that had to do with my own pediatrician, who I admired and looked up to so much. When I told my parents I wanted to be a pediatrician, they were skeptical. They didn't think I had a thick enough skin to handle the emotional stress of dealing with sick children day after day. Their family friend, who was a physician himself specializing in internal medicine, recommended pharmacy. He suggested pharmacy because pharmacy pays well, there was a shortage of pharmacists at the time, and it's less school. Fall of senior year of high school, it was time to apply to colleges. I applied to Case Western Reserve University, Ohio State University, Miami University in Oxford, Ohio, Oberlin College, Cleveland State University, John Carroll University, and Ursuline College. I indicated my major as pre-med, and I got into all of those colleges except for Oberlin. For the sake of satisfying my parents, I also applied to the pharmacy program at University of Toledo. A couple of months later, my financial aid packages came in, and it turned out that my two most affordable options were the University of Toledo and Miami University. I really wanted to study pre-med at Miami University, and my parents wanted me to study pharmacy at Toledo. Their argument was that Toledo was closer, it was just 2 hours away, whereas Miami University is 4.5 hours away. And also, pharmacy school would be a total of 6 years for me instead of a total of 8 years to become a doctor. It was spring of 2008, and I had to make a choice about where I was going to go to school. My parents and I were clearly not on the same page. I am an immigrant child, and my parents sacrificed everything so I could have a happier and better life here in America. And I guess because of that, I will always feel a little bit indebted. A lot of it also has to do with my personality. I am a people pleaser, and I try to make everybody happy. I avoid conflict whenever possible. So after quite a bit of debate, I caved in, and I signed up for pharmacy school at the University of Toledo. At the University of Toledo, you can graduate as a Doctor of Pharmacy, or PharmD, in 6 years of school. The first 2 years are pre-pharmacy, and the last 4 are pharmacy school, or graduate school. The first 2 years are very heavy in science: general chemistry, biology, calculus, organic chemistry, and physics. At orientation, every student in the pre-pharmacy program was assigned to an advisor. This advisor helped make sure that you were taking all the classes required to apply to pharmacy school. Midway through the second year, you would actually apply and interview to get into pharmacy school. In 2009, when I was applying for graduate school, UT did not require that you take the PCAT. Now, I believe all pharmacy schools require the PCAT, and so does UT. The application process required that you submit your grades, that you complete and do well in all the required classes. You list all your student organizations that you're involved in, all your extracurricular activities, and lastly, you provide 2 to 3 letters of recommendation. I was a strong applicant because my GPA was quite good, and I was involved in several student organizations, so I was invited to sit in for the essay. The essay was 2 hours long, and the topic that year happened to be servant leadership. They liked my essay, so a couple of weeks later, I was called in for an interview. The interview was in front of 3 different professors from the pharmacy department, and it took 20 or 30 minutes. I remember talking about being from Ukraine and how much I loved music, and I played piano and guitar and flute, and we also talked about the last book I read. Anyway, a month later, I went to check online, and I had been accepted into the pharmacy program. The next 3 years were a whirlwind of studying. Again, everything was very heavy in science. My classes included biochemistry, pharmacology, pharmaceutics, pharmacokinetics, drug literature, and a lot of other classes whose names I honestly can't recall. It was such a blur, and it was very intense and challenging. The last year of pharmacy school is a year of rotations and practical experience. I moved back to Cleveland and lived with my parents while I completed my rotations. Most of my rotations were with the Cleveland Clinic and university hospitals. There were 8 rotations, and each one, except for my first one, lasted 1 month. I did 2 months at a warfarin clinic, then a month at an ambulatory care center, outpatient pharmacy, inpatient pharmacy, internal medicine, cardiology, and corporate pharmacy with Walgreens. On top of the rotations, in order to graduate, we had to do a final drug research project. My project was on Stelara for psoriatic arthritis, so I had to review drug literature and present why I thought this medication was effective or not for this particular indication. This project took me 3 months to complete, and I had to present it in front of 3 professors and a bunch of my classmates. I graduated in May of 2014, and all that was left to do was pass my 2 exams. The first exam is the MPJE, or Multi-State Pharmacy Jurisprudence. It's a law exam, and this one was a little easier, but I still had to study for it. The second one was the board exam, NAPLEX, and I took that one a month later, and I passed it on the first try as well, but this one was a little more challenging for me. In the early summer of 2014, my scores to the 2 exams were posted, and my FBI and BCI background checks came through as clean, so I was officially a registered pharmacist with the state of Ohio. Most pharmacy students will take a pharmacy job while they're in school. Once you get accepted into pharmacy school, you can apply for a pharmacy intern license. That's what I did. My very first pharmacy job was an internship with Kroger, and I stayed with them while I was in Toledo. My last year, when it came time to move to Cleveland, I left my job with Kroger and I applied for an internship with CVS. I continued as an intern with CVS until I passed my board exams and until I graduated, and then I was offered a position as a full-time pharmacist with CVS. Having lived through all this, I want to give you some advice that I really hope will be useful, especially if you're in high school. Take advantage of dual enrollment in AP classes. I was not the best at this. Yes, I took a whole bunch of AP classes, but I didn't take the exams to get college credit for them. So get as much college credit as possible. Also, I want to say I think it's insane that society expects 17, 18, 19-year-olds to know what they want to do for the rest of their lives as far as their careers go. It's okay to have doubts. It's okay to not feel 100% confident about your career choice this early on. You can change your major, and that's okay. If you're a young adult, start learning how to make confident decisions, whether they are good or bad. Don't freeze up and don't panic just because you can't make a choice. If you make the wrong choice, you can still correct it and you can get back on track. I wish I knew this way back when I was younger. It's so important to block out outside influences. Yes, family and friends probably have your best intentions at heart, but they have so many opinions. And listen to those opinions, consider them, but remember that they are just opinions. Don't forget, this is your life, not your parents' life, not your friend's life. Your decision is about ensuring your happiness and success, not somebody else's. Remember that the people in your life that truly love you just want you to be happy, and no one knows better than you what will make you feel happy and fulfilled. You are the leading expert in your life and your happiness. Just to wrap things up, and I'm speaking from personal experience, work on confidence, work on your decision-making skills, and remember to always listen to your own voice. If you're interested in pharmacy, I recommend you get experience as early on as possible. I wish I had started even earlier. In Ohio, you can become a pharmacy technician once you graduate from high school. Lastly, if you're going into healthcare, any kind of healthcare, be prepared to make a ton of sacrifices. Sacrifices with your time, your health, and your relationships. That's all, folks. That's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you found it helpful and informative. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the like button and leave me a comment. There is more financial independence in pharmacy content coming your way. Thanks. Have a great day.